Working with measurement, we need to remember the SI system or SI unit, which is a measurement unit that helps us to convert from one unit to the other. And we always going to use the length of that object. And the unit for length, it's always in meters. So what is the SI unit? In your module, you need to always remember this by heart because it's not given to you. You need to know that in 1 centimeter, there are 10 millimeters. And you also need to know how to convert from one unit to the other. So these are your smallest units. Millimeter is your smallest unit, and kilometers is your biggest unit. How do we then convert from a smaller unit to a bigger unit and from a bigger unit to a smaller unit? To convert from a bigger unit to kilometers or meters from a millimeter, you need to divide by the appropriate terms, and the appropriate terms will be determined by those. If I convert from meters to kilometers, there are 10 times 10 times 10. There are about 1,000 meters in a kilometer. Other rule, if I need to convert from a bigger unit to a smaller, so I'm moving from a bigger to a smaller unit, then I need to know how to multiply by the appropriate term. So if I move from meters and I move to centimeters, then there will be also 10 times 10, which means there are about 100 centimeter in a meter. So I need to multiply by 100. Okay. How do we then do it? Let's look at an example. Convert 20 centimeter to millimeter. So we're moving from a bigger to a smaller. So we need to, if we move into a smaller unit, we multiply. So we need to multiply by 10 millimeters. And the answer will be 20 times 10 will give us 200. It will give us 200 millimeters. Let's look at more examples. Let's convert from 400 centimeter to meters. Now we need to know that we're moving from a smaller to a bigger, so it means we're going to divide. But this is how you can also simplify and solve or convert. So we're going to name our m, our meter, x, or we can call it our meter. We're going to leave it as it is because we don't know what the value is. So we're going to just leave the meter there. And we're going to call it our x. It's our unknown number because we don't know. We want to calculate to convert 400 centimeter to x meters. So we can write this as 450 centimeter divided by x because we don't know the x. And we know that they are 100 centimeters in 1 meters. And we're going to apply the multiplication with crisscross. We want to make x the subject of the formula. So we're going to move and say multiply 450 with 1 meter, 400 centimeter with 1 meter. So we're going to say 450 centimeter multiplied by 1 meter, and we do the same. We cross 100 centimeter, 100 centimeter multiplied by our x. Now we need to get rid of 100 centimeter this side, so therefore it means we're going to divide by 100 centimeter this side, and we're going to divide by 100 centimeter that side. And by dividing by 100 centimeter on both sides, it means the centimeter and the centimeter will cancel out. 100 centimeter and 100 centimeter cancels out, and then we are left with 450 times 1 meter equals to x, and 450 times 1 meter will end up with, divide by 100 will end up with 450 meter divided by 100, which gives us 4,5 meters. Let's look at another example. Let's convert from meters to millimeters. Now we're moving from a bigger to a from a bigger to a smaller. And when we're moving to a smaller, remember, we multiply by the appropriate 10. So also going to call this x. So we're going to say 78 meters divided by x is equals to how many meters? So we have 1 meter is equivalent to 1,000 millimeters. 1 meter is equivalent to 1,000 millimeters. And we're going to crisscross 78 meters times 1,000 millimeters equals 1 meter times x. And we do the same. We divide both sides by 1 meter, divide this side by 1 meter. And we know that a meter and a meter will cancel out, and 1 meter and 1 meter cancels out, and we are left with 78. We have 78 times 1,000 millimeters is equals to x, and 78 times 1,000 gives us 78,000. This is 78,000 millimeters. Let's look at another example. Let's convert from centimeters to kilometers. Now we're moving to a bigger number. When we move into a bigger number, remember we divide by the appropriate 10. Same. Kilometers are our x, and then we have 380 centimeter divided by x is equals to how many centimeters in a kilometer? 1 kilometer is made up of 100,000 centimeters. Okay, you will need to read the appropriate tens from the SI unit, and you need to know that in a 1 kilometer there are 100 centimeters. So continue. Now I'm not going to follow all that. I'm going to do this in simple steps. So we're going to cross and multiply 380 centimeter multiply by 1 kilometer multiply by 1 kilometer, and I'm also going to divide this side by 100,000 centimeter, and I'm going to say it's equals to x. Okay, so centimeter cancels centimeter, and we're left with 380 times 1 is 380 divided by 100,000, and the answer is 0,0038 kilometers.